Hey, gang. Welcome back to Nopes and Nopes. I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Hylan.
Yep.
Now, not Hylan. Lance hasn't made an appearance in a lot of episodes. I don't know why. We've cleared space for him on the table. He's fine. He'll make an appearance.
Yeah.
But he hasn't.
What is the deal with
I
that?
don't know. He just like
Is he mad at us?
he'd be mad at us. Maybe I fed him too late. But anyways, first things first, out the gate. If you ever want to reach out to us, please reach out to us at NopeOpePod.com or comment down below on Spotify or YouTube. That's the best way to reach. Now, in this episode, we talk about competitiveness as well as just overall trying to, start feeling successes in life
Mm-hmm.
and also embracing the failures along the way
Yeah.
and how important it is for you as an individual. This is a part of Hyland's series of kind of just life advice. And this is one of the bullet points. And it was a fun one. And there's a fun moment in the middle there where we have a really good laugh. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, we hope you enjoy this episode. So my grandma, she's okay, by the way, but she fell and she hit her head.
Oh,
Um,
grandma?
yeah, grandmom.
Oh,
She's okay. She's
okay.
fine. She just got like a little scrape and whatnot, bruise on her elbow. No concussion. She's good.
Okay.
Neighbor is also a nurse, so
Okay.
she went over there and everything. But I walked in and I was just, like talking to her and whatnot. She had some blood in her hair and all that stuff. And this is like right after it.
Oh, okay.
And I'm, teasing her and whatnot. And was like, well, I came over because I was hoping you would make me a cake. Could you please not get any blood in it? Just like giving her a hard time, making her laugh and
Yeah.
whatnot. And then the next day she texted me.
Is mine on?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay.
And she said, "Hi, Rowan. Have you?" And this is like no text before. Just, "Hi, Rowan. Have you ever thought of going to Mike Rowe's trade school? There are a large number who have chosen to do this and end up earning good money, plus have learned a skill and also self-esteem. You did not seem to mind building fences. Mike Rowe was just on TV, which made me aware of it again. Not meaning to interfere."
Oh, I'm meaning to interfere completely.
Grandma, do I have low self-esteem? Do I give off that impression that I'm a low self-esteem guy?
Oh, man, there's a lot there.
I did not text her back this, but I wanted to say, I was like, "Hey, Grandma, have you thought of not falling over? I saw a Life Alert commercial and it made me think of it."
Oh.
I did not say that, of course.
That went, yeah.
But I just said, I thought about it, but not for me. And she's said, "I sure do not know. There are so many jobs, various jobs available, and good paying ones. 6 figures in a year's time. He is a good guy. Nice to see you last night." Mike Rowe's the guy from Dirty Jobs.
Yeah. He's awesome.
He is awesome.
I like Mike Rowe a lot.
He is awesome. But like, she's like, "Mike Rowe's trade school." And I was like, "Grandma, I want to do the comedy. Like, I like it. But no one gets it." So,
But that's so, like, I don't want to say stereotypical because that has like a negative, but that's such a good grandmom thing to do,
Yeah.
right? Like, honey, have you just
Have you
thought
thought?
about just living a normal life?
the worst was the other day. I mean, I know we're recording and everything, but maybe I'll include this in the episode. Probably
I
not.
think we should.
Well, not
I
this
like,
part.
I like it.
Not this part for a specific reason, because this guy watches it. So the other day, my dad, we were sitting on the couch and he goes, "I hate to ask you this, but have you ever thought of doing anything other than comedy?" And I just looked at him.
Anything?
I just looked at him and went, "No." And because he's all worried that like to pay for things,
It's
401k,
it's a rough road.
Yeah, and I was like, "Dad, I understand all of that, and I get like getting a sales job would fix all those problems. Really want to go for it. I want to pursue the dream. Like, I'm gonna give it a shot."
Well, I think I'm gonna hit you with the top two, and
Go ahead,
and
buddy.
if you can see, the top two have the most extensive.
Pretty
kind
big,
of-
pretty big.
Yeah, like the other ones are like a couple words.
Like bullet points.
Yeah, and then the top two, there's a lot to it, and I think hopefully this fills up 45 minutes pretty easily.
Yep.
But I think it's gonna
Align.
just affirm, like, hey, you're good, you're good. Like, I'm gonna support the heck out of like not popular choices all
Yep.
the time, like, because I think there's magic in this world, and I think like doing the safe micro trade school is it's very logical, but and I think you will make six figures, and I
Yeah.
think six figures is something. Like it's a big
Yeah.
deal. Like money is a big deal, but I also think it will suck your soul dry.
Yeah.
And at the end of your life, you'll have your six figures, and you'll have your 401k, and you'll have some questions.
Yeah.
Also, you'll
Some
have,
regrets, I
you'll
think.
have, you'll have some regrets. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna support. I'm gonna support doing a podcast
Yeah.
and not making any real progress in the last couple of month or so, but
Yeah. It's
still
just
like
funny how like people approach me about it. And I'm like, you could not do it in the worst stereotypical way
but
possible.
like cute though too. Like
Cute.
grandmom,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Appreciated.
a really bad approach, grandmom. But
Yeah.
still, I appreciate you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're still loved, but at the same time, not smooth
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Like if you do actually want to create some change, that's not the way to do it. That actually like kind of like makes me want to dig my heels in,
Oh yeah. It makes me want to text her and be like, I'm pursuing comedy, you know?
despite everybody,
Yeah. So,
just to kind of like stick it to everybody else.
well, why don't you go ahead and get into the first two here?
Okay, here we go. Number one, results require effort. This statement is absolutely false.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
All right. Yeah, keep going.
Here
Keep
we
going.
go. Here we go. The world will provide you results whether you create them or just let them happen. The world does not care if you try or not.
Hmm.
The most true, correct statement is the the positive results you desire from this life require focused, concerted.
Hmm.
That's huge,
Yeah.
right? Because like everyone's like, oh, you just need to try. You just need to get out there,
Yeah.
like try Mike Rhodes Trade School, this, that, whatever. It's like, no, man. Like,
Now she can never watch this,
I know,
Hylan.
Grandma,
She never will.
yeah,
She never
I
will.
love you. You know that's true. Yeah, I think. Oh, I was gonna say something, but I'm not going to.
No, it's okay.
Otherwise, that would make it totally unwatchable. But no, I think that's a big one. So
I don't even want to go to the second one. I want to stay on this one for a second.
okay, yeah, we can.
So play it back for me. Read it again for me. Real quick.
Okay, because I think that first one, like I paused because everyone's
The
like,
dramatic.
yeah, it's like, okay, so here we go. I'm just gonna read it normal. Like we started off on fire. Like this is much like the ones that were recorded so far. We started off pretty low energy. This one we're coming in hot.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, so here we go. Results require effort. This statement is absolutely false. The world will provide you results whether you create them or just let them happen. The world does not care if you try or not. The most true, correct statement is the positive results you desire from this life require a focused, concerted.
Yeah. I mean, I completely agree.
And I think one of the things that bothers me about education and working with the kids that I work with now is we don't actually require kids to step up. Like we're so concerned about emotional and mental health and things like that,
Yeah.
which granted is important,
Sure.
right? Like we need to address that. I think kids are suffering and there's huge issues in that arena that need to be addressed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But in the end, you also need to have the ability to freaking step up and like put forth some sustained, like concentrated, difficult effort
Yeah.
to achieve the things that you want to achieve. And like just like I mean, I've stated this before, but a lot of kids are graduating that don't deserve to graduate, right? And how is that supposed to translate to success later in life?
Yeah.
Right? Life is freaking hard, man. Like you gotta step up. Nothing nothing in this life is given to you. Right? It just doesn't happen. Right? Everything that you achieve in this life is going to require you to put forth a concentrated effort that you achieve something with.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like if you don't have, and that's a skill, like that's a developed, like perseverance, grit, things like that. Those are created. Nobody's born with freaking grit, whatever that is.
I also
right?
think that's why there's like a big push for like sports and whatnot, because I
Oh.
think that's like a lesson you learn through like the I think that's like a physical manifestation of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can apply that to,
Yeah.
stuff like getting a job. Yeah, I mean, no, that's huge. I think that is a very, very important point. Because I was one of those guys in Chicago where like I didn't put any forth any effort, but I dreamed. I was a big dreamer, one of those like idea guys. It's like, oh, I mean, like I can just visualize, and it kind of goes to like the idea of manifest.
Mm.
Like I don't think the world cares if you manifest. Like if you don't actually do anything to get it,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how much you think it's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
If you, I mean, imagine this: I get really stoned. I sit in my apartment and I eat a lot of burritos, a lot of Giordano's pizza, and I imagine lifting and like getting really physically in shape, and then I don't actually do anything. There's no amount of manifesting or anything that's going to actually get you the results that you want. You
Well,
have to do something.
yeah. I mean, like actually, as I was writing those words, I was thinking of uh, you lifting, right? I
Yeah,
mean, that's a prime example of you can sit there and want to be physically fit. You can do whatever, but in the end, you have to physically lift the weights. You
yeah,
have to push yourself. You have to um, like put in the effort, and if you don't, you are not going to achieve the results that
yeah.
you wish to achieve. That's
I have
just
a
the
I have a
most
real
basic fact.
real quick question
Okay.
because I want to make a point. What is a better word for failure? So like I'm going to talk about comedy for a second.
Okay.
Um, so I've been going to open mics and whatnot, and it's been good. And if I just keep going to the open mic and keep doing the same jokes and never like try and change anything or like work on it, it won't get any much better. But like I believe you have to like go up and fail at trying things. Now I don't think the failure is the best word, but you're not necessarily like succeed. Like in a way, you're succeeding because you're getting the experience. But like overall, it's not like, hey, I crushed it tonight. I had a really great. Like so. To give an example, when I first started going to the jukebox comedy club, I went my first night. I had a good night. Like
Mm.
I got a way more laughs than I thought I was gonna get, and it made me feel like awesome. I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this is cool."
Yeah.
And then I went the second time, kind of the same response. I was like, "Nice." Third time I went, kind of nothing. It was like, I don't know. And now I'm like, okay, I actually want to do like different jokes. Like I want to kind of like craft a 5 minute set. And so I've been trying different things. I've bombed a few times now, and like I think what I'm trying to get to is there is such an importance in experiencing failure because it really reinforces like, no, like keep going, keep doing it. You're gonna fail, but then you have nights where you do well. You're gonna try a joke that's you think is gonna work, but it's not gonna work. But then there might be one that you didn't even really put any effort into, and that's actually really funny. Like I think that failing, I don't know if failing is the right word for, but experiencing like that kind of negative not success is important and part of the process.
Well, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of the word, and I'm like, God, man, I got nothing.
Yeah.
But like I think, in essence, and I think one of the reasons why I'm as happy as I am now is because I have failed freaking miserably. I have failed a lot, and but failure also affirms effort, right? And I think that's a vital. Like, you need to get that through your head and understand what that means. Like, I think kids are so paralyzed now by failure. Like in schools, kids don't even want to try. They're so freaked out by, like, we have kids that I'm thinking of a couple of kids like in my mind. I'm just like they're so, and a lot of it has to do with trauma and things, like they have a lot
Yeah.
of things going on, but they're so paralyzed by the fear of failure that they can't even begin to like do just a pretty minimal worksheet,
Right.
right? Like they're so afraid to make one mistake
Yeah.
on let's say there's 100, like, those, did you ever, I don't know if this is a, like, did you ever take those math things where you have multiplication and you have like 100 of them and you get timed for a minute?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like they can't even begin the minute because, and it's like you're expected to not know some. You're expected
Yeah.
not to get
You're
through
not gonna get all.
all of them,
Yeah.
right? Like that's what we want
Yeah.
from you.
Just do the ones you think you can.
Yeah, and they just they cannot do it.
Mhm.
And it's like that's not healthy.
Yeah.
You can't get through life without failing. right? And failure is like in essence a good thing.
Yeah.
Like I think that's one thing that I try to stress is like without failure, you're not putting yourself in the situations for success. You can't experience success without failure.
Yeah. This is gonna sound bad, but I gotta give a huge thank you to my Faja in learning how to fail. Um, I the first time I ever got an F on anything, and it might have been a D, it might not have been an F. I was so worried that, my dad was gonna like spank me, kill me, just be like furious with me.
Yeah.
And I went to him and I was like, I think I might have wrote a letter or something. I was so upset. And I was like, Dad, I got an F. Like, I don't know what to do. And he was like, okay, don't don't get another one. And I just was like, what? Like, yeah, just do better next time. Oh. And it allowed me to fail and realize like it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Like it's all right if I don't always do well. To the point where like college, me and both Emmett had this amazing mentality that I want to carry on to excuse me, to my children, is that like I would study for a test. It's a big test and what I'd study as much as I can. And then I get to the point where I'm like, all right, I've studied everything. I know as much as I can possibly know. There's nothing. And then all the stress would be gone. I'd be
Yeah.
like, I gotta go take the test. And I would take the test. And the minute I finished that test, it was and I handed it in, I felt an immense amount of relief.
Yeah.
Whereas other people are like, I don't know what I got. I was like, it's over.
It
There,
doesn't matter.
there's nothing left.
Yeah.
You can't change the outcome.
Yeah.
There it is. And then if I got a good grade, I got a good grade. If I got a bad grade, it's like, okay, I got a bad grade. I got to do more studying. I got to like pick myself up. And yeah, no, I think that overall lesson is huge. And I I mean, I'm not in the school system, but I've been around people where I can kind of tell that they have some of those tendencies to not want to fail. Because I used to be that way big time, especially with comedy. Um, and also like I really love singing. Like I love singing.
Oh,
Like I sing in the shower all the time.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I absolutely love singing, and I want to be good at singing. I really want to be good at it. And not because I want to become like a singer or anything, but like I just think it's such a cool, fun skill to have. I have been
Like
afraid.
you in a rock karaoke.
Oh yeah, yeah. I want to absolutely just get up there and like
Just
just
dominate.
just like surprise people with
Yeah.
my ability to sing, and then get off and be like, oh, yeah, it was nothing.
Yeah. Just be
You
like,
know.
sit down and just be
Yeah.
like, people are like, what
Be like,
just
what? You can actually
happened?"
sing, But I've always been afraid to even do singing lessons because I was so afraid that if I go into the singing lesson and like, all right, sing this note, and I'd be like, and they'd be like, there's no hope. Like I thought the teacher would be like, there's no way I can teach you anything,
Yeah.
and that's such like a debilitating mindset to have that would never allow me to like actually experience it. And who knows, you might actually be good. Like if I go to
Well,
a singing lesson, they might be like, actually, you just need to work on this, and you could be, great.
yeah. I mean, I think that's I mean, I think we have two like perfectionistic to the extreme,
Yeah.
right? Like I dropped out of high school because I just didn't want to. Like I'd rather fail. I'd rather like fail on my own terms than actually. I think I've stated this before, but like when I look back on my high school career, like I dropped out just because I didn't want people to know that I wasn't as smart as I pretended to be.
Mhm.
I didn't want to know. I didn't want people to know that I actually didn't know everything. And it's like, what kind of warped thinking is that, man? But
Also, such a unique perspective to have at such a young age. You know what I
I
mean?
had some unique perspectives, all right, for sure. But no, yeah, I no agreed. I mean, like there was so much over analyzing from the very get go.
Are your parents at all very analytical and
Oh my
analyze
god,
stuff?
my dad is
Yeah.
ultimately
Okay.
like my dad and my mom had problems because my mom was very emotional
Mhm.
and like you would listen to him talk and you're just like you're talking, you're having this conversation and you're having this conversation and
Yeah.
there's no intermixing at
Mm.
all. Like you
Yeah.
guys are yeah, you get like good luck. Like I like as a kid, I can see this is not working.
So,
But like I think for me, like one of the one of the things that I'm struggling with right now is that I can't teach. I can't not teach. I can't help kids begin to realize the importance and the value of failing
mhm,
if you're not even willing to fail,
right.
right? Like I can't be your dad and be like, "See, it
Yeah,
wasn't that bad."
right.
Like it like and because I mean, it is scary. The first time you get back a test and you got a D on it or whatever,
Yeah.
like for me, like that was heartbreaking. Like
Yeah.
I was like, "What?" And
Well, you also can compare yourself to the others in the class. You're like, oh, am I like, I mean, just because you get a D does not mean you're stupid.
oh no,
But
no.
from the kid's standpoint,
Yeah.
they might internally be like, oh my gosh, this means that I'm stupid or this means that I'm not a smart guy,
Yeah,
you
just
know?
whatever a kid deems as failure,
Exactly.
right? I mean, it doesn't have to be that necessarily.
Right.
I mean, like I was afraid growing up. I loved playing soccer. Like I would sit out in my um, I would sit out in my driveway and just practice juggling. Right from the time I was like probably 4 years old, I was
Yeah.
out there just driving my neighbors crazy,
Hmm.
like 9:30 at night, just going like dunk, like bouncing the ball, like dunk, dunk. And my Mrs. Spanbar, she was my neighbor, and she would call my house all the time and be like, "Can you bring your son in? Like it's too loud." And I'm just like, "Mrs. Spanbar, go to bed." Um, but to the point where I actually got pretty good,
Mhm.
and we went to a camp, and like at the end of the week, they had like award ceremonies and stuff, and then they had a juggling contest, and um, so I was like my friends knew, they're like, Hylan, like you gotta enter this juggling
You're the
contest.
guy. You're the guy for
Yeah,
the job.
like because it was always ages, right?
Mhm.
Like you're our representative, man. Like get
Ah,
out there
okay.
and like
Yeah. Yeah.
compete against the older um like there was one class, like two classes above us, and they had like Brad Miller and Jason Neitzel and Andy Semrad and like all these amazing like the idols, right? In high
Yeah.
school, you're just like, wow, those guys are the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
And so like they're like, Highland, get out there. So I went out, and I was just like, I can't do this. Like, no way, man. Like my mindset was just, and somehow they convinced me, and so I got out there, and I got like 1,586 or something like that. Like just like my knees were all red and stuff. Like I was just like, because you got like three tries, and somebody had to sit there and count all of them, and I was just like, what? And to this day, like I think about this, and I'm having this conversation, but even in this conversation, I'm like, yeah, I freaking failed, man. Because Andy stupid Semrad got like 1,800, man. I'm like,
Oh my
oh,
gosh.
so I got second
Ah,
with 1,000, 1,500
that's
freaking
still
juggles.
insane.
I know, that's a huge success.
Really, it's funny. So I played soccer in high school. I was a goalie freshman year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was not good at soccer. Like my foot skills terrible. I was so bad that a defender would have to do goalie kicks for me. Like I just was like, let me put my hands on the ball. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted to do. And so I couldn't.
I just oh, okay,
So
okay.
that's not all I wanted to do. But I wasn't very good at soccer, and
Oh
I
no.
couldn't juggle.
Oh.
So good for you, Hyman, and
Oh
your
God.
juggling abilities.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're so
Cheers
cool.
to that, man. Okay. That was brilliant.
All right, I gotta switch it over. Well, after that brief but fun interruption,
Oh my God.
um, Hylan learned what pause meant.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, so here we are. Woo!
Oh man. That was
But in light of that fun anecdote and whatnot, I do think that the overall lesson of like failure is so important to the fact where I was actually talking with my mom. I know you had said this earlier that you had talked to my mom about it, but like a week ago, I had the same conversation with her about like how I personally was always just so afraid like to be bad at something.
Yeah.
I never wanted to feel like a failure,
Yeah.
you know, because I think for some kids it might be because they fail in other things or they like that's what happened to me. Uh, like we've talked about in the past, we had that episode where I talked about how like I've had a hard time of really feeling like a success because there's been so many things that have made me feel like a failure. Um, if you remember that, which was a while ago,
Yeah.
and then we kind of extrapolated on it and got to the point where it was like those things that happened were important for you to become the person you are today, right? And so sometimes when you feel like a failure in other categories of your
Yeah.
life, it's hard to even want to make an attempt in something such as like education, you know?
Well, that triggers like another, like creates another association because I think kids are so paralyzed by the fear of failure, but also there's this like the opposite end of the spectrum where we're not really giving kids a chance to experience success
Mm,
either. Like a
yeah,
lot of my kids, like the kids that I deal with daily, they're just kind of there. Like they just kind of show up and maybe they go to classes, maybe they don't, maybe they have a meltdown, whatever. But like throughout their day, they don't really get a chance to experience real like I mean, we shared that story of that kid where he came in and was like, I figured out how to
turn my
regulate
day around.
yeah,
Yeah,
turn my day around. And like that was a huge moment of success.
right.
But I think that all ties in together because if you don't realize like how good success feels, you are going to be like if you don't know what it like the magic of success, you don't have any reason to risk failure.
Yeah,
And I think that's super important,
yeah,
right? If you don't have an idea of what success actually feels like, but you know it, like everybody has an idea of what
yeah,
failure feels like, right?
yeah,
Like from the very get-go,
yeah,
right? We have this kind of an innate inborn
yeah.
this fear of failure. Like that's just something that I put together right now, and it's like I think that's going to inform how I work with kids and kind of everybody work moving forward because it's like if you want to begin to deal with like the fear of failure, maybe the first step is creating moments of success.
Yeah.
And I think I like again, this is all just coming in my head right now, like as we're talking, but I think the problem is that like in general, we are experiencing so few true moments of success, right? Like if you're sitting there playing video games for 8 hours a day when you're outside of school or even in school, and you're sitting there and you're like, ding, 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 and you get a high score, and then your friend gets the next high score, and you die, and whatever, da da da. There's no real sense of like, hey,
Yeah.
I accomplished something, I made something, I created something, I
I have a prime example.
okay,
So I don't play video games often, but my older brother does play video games, and that's like one of the ways that I can kind of connect with him, when he lives far away. So like I'll play video games with him and whatnot, and we play some like competitive video games sometimes. And him and his friends will get upset at games.
mm,
But like we'll win a game, and like it'll be a great fun game, and then we'll immediately queue for another game,
yeah.
and then we'll start to lose, and it's like everything that just happened, the
It
great game that we
deletes.
had, gone. And they're just like, "Oh, this sucks." And I'm like, "You guys, like, it's just so fascinating how quickly you can forget about
Well,
success."
it's not like a sustained
Yeah,
success.
that's not like to me like a real success where you like feel it in your like heart and it like really kind of moves you forward.
Yeah, like if you make a painting or something like that, or like if you write something or create a podcast or something tangible,
The first time I ever scored a lacrosse goal was euphoric.
that's huge, right? Like the first time you get an A on a spelling test or
Yeah.
whatever it is, right? But I think like that is something that I'll have to think about a little bit more.
I
But
think it has something to do with like the first time you succeed on something that you care about.
mm,
Because like when I scored that first lacrosse goal, I was like trying for it. Like I cared that
mm,
I succeeded. And that's what gave me like feeling of a euphoric.
Yeah. No, I think that's ultimately like so important. And I mean, I think that's the magic of this first one, right? I mean, it's like if you work hard for something, that creates that
Yeah,
sense of like, yeah, this is magic,
yeah,
right? It's like this took a lot of effort. This took a lot of my blood, my energy, my sweat, whatever, to create this, and now I get to celebrate it.
yeah.
Now I get to feel the magic of it. Um,
I have a question for you about
oh,
kind of this idea.
okay.
Um, how do you think competitiveness comes into play with own personal success? Because like I think you can be competitive, which can drive you to succeed, right? Versus other people.
Mm.
And then you can also be competitive within yourself, to do better. How do you think that plays with like the students that you are working with? Is there any competitive spirit? Do you think competitiveness is a helpful thing or is it a negative thing? Kind of what are your views on it?
Oh, oh, that's a freaking brilliant question. And you just like opened a floodgate. Well done, my friend. But like I pretend not to be competitive. Like when I'm on the tennis court or whatever. I pretend to be so chill and relaxed
Yeah.
and whatever, like da da da. Inside, I'm freaking raging. Like
Yeah.
I am gonna beat the hell out of you.
Yeah.
Like yeah, and I think I think competitiveness is super super important. I think there's the world is a competitive place,
Very
and
fair.
if you are not competitive, you are going to get steamrolled.
Yep.
And I think competition and the willingness to participate in competition is vital
Yeah.
to any amount of personal happiness and contentment. Like if you're not willing to step into the game, you're not going to reap any of the benefits. But that being said, I deal with a lot of kids that have that competitive spirit. I think that's innate. I think all of us have, like, all of us want to be a success.
Yep.
All of us want to succeed.
Okay.
All of us want to experience that euphoric feeling of scoring that goal or whatever it is, right? But I think some kids, and I think this translates to adults as well, but have been beat down by life, like whatever the circumstances,
Yeah.
where they don't even feel like they have the chance to compete.
Mm,
And that's where the fear of failure seeps in. Because like when you feel like when you feel that there's no purpose in competing, when you feel that there's no benefit, that there's no way that you're going to win,
yeah.
that the competition is totally stacked against you, like there's no reason to even step on the field,
Right.
then
Why
like
would why would
like
you?
yeah, there's no of like you're guaranteed failure, right? So why risk that if it's a guarantee, right? So you have to have some belief that you can succeed in order to be willing to fail.
Yeah.
This is getting super philosophical. I don't know if people are
No, no,
following,
I think you're good.
but I think like that's I think all of these things are so so important.
Yeah.
Like it's like psychologically, I think yeah, like if like I'm just thinking about my kids and I have like specific kids in my mind when I'm saying all these things, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think some kids um like they like
Do you
I
think
think it
there's a way to kind of like spark that in them?
oh of course.
And is that kind of like the goal with like helping them succeed is to kind of get that competitive nature back?
Yeah, like just like to like my work, and I've really had to think about this recently, like because I've I've doubted my efficiency, I've doubted my efficacy. Recently I've just been like, what the heck am I doing? Am I making a difference? Am I doing good things? So I've been thinking about this a lot, and a lot of what I'm doing, especially with the younger kids, and the high school kids as well, but is just like saying, screw the schoolwork. I could care less about the schoolwork, buddy. Like, I just want, like, let's build you up. every day. Let's celebrate little successes. Let's celebrate you just having a regulated day. Let's celebrate you and just building on small successes, small things that they can look at and they can say, yeah, I did that. And just begin to create a sense of um, self awareness and this idea that, yeah, I can succeed. And then once you have that small like spark, like, hey, I can be successful there. Like, oh, I like that feeling. Like, I would like to be successful in other areas. Like the same boy that said, hey, I turned my day around. He took a test the other day and like nailed it.
Mhm.
And we were just like, and he's like, and I was like, buddy, it feels good. And he's like, yeah, it does. And like so then that just builds and builds and builds.
Yeah.
That's yeah. So that spark is there and you got to work to create it
Kind of like
and build upon it.
get the flame going.
Yeah. Like you got to it's like little embers,
Yeah.
right? It's there, but you got to fan it, you got to stoke it, you got to do everything you can, like add the timber, add the wood, add the um
Yes.
you know, gasoline, yeah, whatever it takes, man. I mean, um, but yeah, it's but you got to build. Like so many kids are just beat down, and like there's just one tiny little ember. But as long as you're alive, I feel that that ember's there.
Yeah.
You just got to stoke it,
Yeah.
right? Like everybody, everybody in this world. When you wake up in the morning, there's something in you that keeps you going.
Yeah.
There's something in you. There's some sort of fire. And I think that's metaphorical, literal, whatever. But like, I think there's something that keeps you going.
Yeah.
And for some, it's really, really dim,
Yeah.
right? It's really, really low. Um, and those are the people that I want to reach out to. Those are the people that I want to be like, hey, like it's not there, but it can be. Like,
Yeah.
let's do everything we can to like build that thing up into a raging inferno and just let you loose on the world, right? And I think like when you have moments like that, when you do take a little ember and all of a sudden you spark a little flame,
Yeah.
that's magic. Like that's like, wow, yes, you did it. Like that's magic for me and that's magic for them.
Yeah.
And that brings me like unimaginable joy. Like that's something that just fills my cup overflowing.
Nice. Well, I think that's a good point in this episode. So, on that bombshell, we appreciate you guys watching and listening. Hopefully, you're inspired by this and maybe it'll give you a little bit of a competitive edge. If you ever want to reach out to us up at NopeOpePod at gmail.com. And we'll see you in the next one.